All right, I think we're back.
Cool.
All right, yes, we are. We are on Twitch.
We had so
Hello,
much fun. We're going to do
Twitchies.
another
I
episode.
know. We love the Battletoads so much, we're doing another episode featuring them. Yeah. So, I guess if you're ready, we can go ahead and do this. I'm going to switch scenes here. And 3, 2, 1. If I can get this working. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Come on now. All right, here we go. Stupid thing. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. This episode of Nerd Cave Retro is brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download and a 30-day free trial at audibletrial.com/nerdcave. Over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player.
You're listening to the Nerd Cave Network.
Where's our music? Why is our music not playing? Oh, there it is. Something's wrong with our music. Hold on.
Oh boy.
Good Lord. Hold on, let me try this thing. We're going to start this over again, everybody. Sorry. There it is. Why was it not playing? That's weird.
It's what we in the business call take two.
Yeah, take two. That's so weird. Why is this? I got to figure out what's wrong with this soundboard, man. This is crazy. All right, here we go. Take two. This episode of the Nerd Cave Retro is brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download and a 30-day free trial at audibletrial.com/nerdcave. Over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player.
You're listening to the Nerd Cave Network.
Greetings, programs, and we're back for another episode of the Nerd Cave Retro Show. My name is Jason Robbins.
And I'm Derek Diamond.
So, Derek, it's been so long since we've spoken. Anything happened in the last 10 minutes?
Well, left the room, went to the restroom, made a nice beverage, which have you ever tried to make a Moscow Mule before?
I don't even know what that is.
So it's basically vodka mixed with ginger beer and your choice of lemon or lime. It's actually quite good. You serve it in this little metallic mug, which you can see right here. And so I made one for the first show that we did, and it was quite good. I had never made one before. I've had them at multiple dining establishments. But this one, I think I added a little bit too much vodka to, so I might just be slowly sipping on it because I've tried to have a very chill weekend, and I didn't talk about it on the first episode, but my parents went out of town, so I got to dog sit at their house this past weekend. Had a fantastic chill weekend because they have one of those big green egg grills.
Yes.
So I made a nice steak, got to lounge in the pool, got a massage today, and now I'm sitting here discussing retro gaming with you, sipping a Moscow Mule. So
yes.
I really, really do not want to go to work tomorrow.
I'm sure you're not gonna feel great first thing in the morning.
No, I'm slowly sipping on it, so I'm actually more tolerant than you might think when it comes to the beverages. So
do you have the Irish blood in you, laddie?
Something like that. So
yeah.
What about you? How's your 10 minutes been?
It's good. I got myself some sweet green tea here that I make for myself.
Oh,
A little sippy there. I like the green tea because it's easier on my kidneys than regular tea. And it's full of antioxidants, so it's very good for you. And I use the best sugar I can find, the unrefined sugar, the sugar in the raw, if you will.
There's no other kind.
The unbleached sugar, so it's better for your body to process. And so yeah, that's been my evening. I got a couple of viewers back. Glad you guys are returning for the second show tonight. Thank you for joining us, and we're going to be talking about Battletoads again tonight. And so we don't really have much to talk about in what we've done this week because we did that on the last episode. So those of you listening to this on the audio stream as a regular podcast, you'd never know that we just recorded last week's episode like 10 minutes ago. Through the magic of the internet, we recorded 2 episodes in one night. All about Battletoads, which gave me anxiety all this week trying to play these stupid games.
It's kind of like if anyone's ever seen the second Austin Powers movie, when he goes back in time 10 minutes to warn himself.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm you 10 minutes from now.
I love that movie. I got to watch that again.
I haven't seen those movies since I was probably in high school.
It's been a long time for me, too. I remember liking the second one way better than the first one.
I agree 100%. The third one was okay.
Yeah, the second one was
but the first
best.
2 are great.
With Mini-Me and all that stuff. It's great.
And Fat Bastard.
Yeah. Get in my belly. I got bigger titties than you do. I gotta watch that tonight. Oh man.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to sleep to tonight. Thanks, Derek, for giving me something to watch.
Well, now I'm going to transition from quoting Owen Wilson to now quoting Austin Powers on this show. So
awesome.
We'll see what happens.
But let's go ahead and get into it tonight. We got some news to talk about, people. Speaking of Battletoads, Rare is focused on a new IP despite the Battletoads revival. Craig Duncan, this comes to us from OnlySP.com. Craig Duncan, studio head of Rare, has revealed that the team is entirely focused on developing a new IP despite the revival of Battletoads. In an interview with Game Reactor, revealed that Rare, which is offering to help UK-based developer Delilah Studios in the development of Battletoads, it will be splitting its future efforts between support for Sea of Thieves and a new IP. Additionally, he contextualized about how the Battletoads revamp came to be, stating that Delilah came to Rare with an amazing pitch. Interest in a series revival has been circulating for years, so their pitch likely involved an imaginative take on the universe to impress Rare. He also stated that Delilah's great hand-drawn animation talent, as well as the passion and creativity of CEO AJ Grand Scruton, was the driving force behind the decision. So what do you think? We always talk about we wish Rare would start cranking out some games again. I mean, they're coming back with Battletoads, but it doesn't sound like they're really in the ones making it. It's more or less they're kind of just giving a sign off on it, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad that they're at least back in the news. I still wish they were with Nintendo because I thought that was just the perfect marriage between two companies. I've talked about it multiple times on the podcast, but I was never a huge fan of Rare leaving. When they announced they were leaving and going to Microsoft, I thought that was a gigantic mistake.
Yeah.
Because when you think Rare, you think of all the classic games they made for Nintendo. I mean, Battletoads, obviously, we've been talking about, but you've got the Donkey Kong Country series, Perfect Dark, Banjo-Kazooie, Diddy Kong Racing. Rare, to me, is one of those companies that I think Nintendo when I think Rare. And I've heard good things about Sea of Thieves. I mean, I don't own an Xbox One, so I can't play it. But I am glad that they're at least back as to trying to be in the news again.
Yeah.
But I just still wish they were with Nintendo because I would still be... I mean, I still like Rare, and I'm such a fanboy for their older games, but God, if they were still with Nintendo now, I would be drinking the rare Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
like by the gallon.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm curious as to see what this new IP is for sure.
Yeah, because I think Sea of Thieves did well, but I don't think it caught the gaming world on fire like they were expecting it to.
Mm-hmm.
Because I really haven't heard much about it. Like when it first came out, that's all I heard about on a lot of podcasts dealing with gaming and stuff like that. They were like, "Oh, this game's great." Then after a week or so, they're like, it's kind of the same thing over and over again, and it's not very. There's not a lot to do in it, I guess. It's kind of very bland. So I don't know what to think about that. But, if they got a new IP coming, I don't know what that is. But I don't know. Not really big on the Xbox right now. So it doesn't really affect me one way or the other. So I don't know.
Yeah, I'm still interested as to what it is. But, I like I said, I just wish Rare was at worst multi-platform.
Dirty Dog 1987 said it was not good, so I take it.
Oh, it was not.
Yeah. It's Travis. Oh, yeah. This is Travis from let's see, Travis from where's it from? Hold on, we're getting a little lag here. Sorry, I didn't mean to derail us there. I was looking at the Twitch chat.
No, you're good.
He's the one who sent Jackal that that I reviewed about 6 months or so ago. He's from Oregon, and
very cool.
Yeah, I recognized the name, but he didn't put his last name up there. That's why I was like, I know the name Travis, and then he wrote Jackal, but it wasn't spelled like the game is spelled, so it kind of threw me for a loop there for a second. So thanks, Travis. That's awesome, man. I hope you listen to that episode too. And I really like that game, Jackal. It's one of the best games you can get, I think, for the for back in the day for the Nintendo. That kind of overhead, like constant shooter type of thing. And he says he has something he's sending for the both of us soon. So that's interesting.
Oh, nice.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And also, I wanted to tell you too. I forgot to mention this at the top of the show. Last night, or was it last night or night before, I downloaded Fortnite for my Switch just to try it out. And I think I need some other people to play it with, like people that I know. So if you're interested in playing, Derek, let's play together, because it's not that fun when you're playing by yourself.
Yeah, I've downloaded it, but I haven't played it yet. So we'll have to join up.
Let's do that, because I want to play, like back in the day with the Call of Duty games and things like that. I always like playing those kind of like the PvP with friends. Like that's what made it fun. So I think that's what it would make Fortnite fun. Just playing it by yourself it's a little, I don't know. I kind of got bored playing it, or maybe I'm just not into shooters like that anymore. Maybe I'm just getting old. I don't know.
Maybe so. But our last news story comes to us from comicbookmovie.com. Castlevania Season 2, Netflix's animated series, now expected to return later this year.
Yes.
Fans of Netflix's Castlevania series, which I know we both are, will seemingly have to wait a bit longer for Season 2. Taking to Twitter, writer Warren Ellis informed fans that the sophomore season of the animated series will premiere sometime later this year. And I didn't know this, but it was originally scheduled to return to the streaming service this summer, but that no longer appears to be the case. It's unclear what caused the delay, but Ellis hinted in his tweet that the decision was out of his hands. Unfortunately, we still don't have a specific date other than the vague window he provided, but he did say we'll be given plenty of warning when we do have an official release. So
I'm thinking
it's not going to quite come out. Oh, go ahead.
I was thinking maybe they're holding on to this for like a Halloween release, maybe like in October or something like that.
I think that would actually be better timing.
Yeah.
I think it would be much more fitting. I mean, we'd have to wait a bit longer, but
I'm okay with that.
You release it, like Halloween weekend. I think that'd be perfect.
Yeah.
And there will be 8 episodes. It's a 4-episode increase from the original 4 from season 1. So if you haven't watched this show yet, do yourself a favor. Go on Netflix. It's 4 episodes long. It's not going to take you that long. It's really, really good. And I'm not even a huge Castlevania fan, but I absolutely love the series from start to finish. It was so well done. The writing was great. The look was perfect. The voices were great. Everything about it is just good.
Yeah. And like you said, the episodes are only 30 minutes apiece, and there's 4 of them. So you can watch the entire first series in 2 hours. Like that's binging right there. Like get the whole season done in 2 hours. But especially if you're a Castlevania fan, it just kind of captures that mood that the original Castlevania games had. And plus, I love the art style of it, the animation. I love 2D animation, and they kind of mix it in, with some CGI to kind of give it that weird, almost 2.5D look to it sometimes, like during some of the bigger like set pieces and things like that. So it's really well done. It's great. I've watched through it like twice now. I want to watch through it one more time before the next season comes out. Go watch it right now. It's on Netflix. If you haven't seen it, it's fantastic.
Yeah, I'll probably watch it again right before season 2 comes out, and then so it's basically a transition into season 1 to season 2.
Yeah. But let's go ahead and move into this month in video game history, shall we?
Sure.
Where are we at here? We are in July. In July of 1980, Atari Inc. releases the Cold War-inspired Missile Command. Probably my favorite game that I used to own. Other than, I think, River Raid and Missile Command were probably my 2 favorite games that I had for the Atari 2600.
I have heard of this game, but I've never played it. I remember it being on the Game Boy, but it was one that I, just never picked up. It says here it was released in 1995 on the Game Boy as part of an Arcade Classics collection. It's one of those games, to use a familiar quote, just kind of passed me by.
Yeah. There you go, Wally. That's your drinking game thing right there. Every time we say something passes us by, somebody has to take a drink. So this is one of those fun games. I used to play this in the arcade a lot because I actually preferred playing it in the arcade other than on a home console. I mean, it worked well with any kind of controller you can get, but if you can play the original stand-up arcade cabinet of this game, it's got the trackball and the fire buttons. It's got, I think, like 4 fire buttons, because you're basically, point of the game is you're trying to defend your bases from missile attacks. So you move your X around the screen. There's missiles coming down. You move your X around the screen, and you blow up the missiles before they hit your bases. That's the point of the game. And if you can play it with the original trackball, it's great. Like it's one of those games that just holds up so well over the years because of its simplicity and its gameplay aesthetic. And they do have some said right here. I think you can actually get it for the iPhone. Says that on September 23rd, 2008, it was released for the iPhone and iPod Touch for $5. It includes 2 gameplay modes, Ultra and Classic. They also did, and it came out for the Xbox Live Arcade in July 4th, 2007. And the graphics on that one look great. I didn't even know this came out for the Xbox 360.
I do remember this. Yeah, I never played it for the 360, but I do remember it coming out for that.
And in 1981, Floridian Jody Bowles played a Missile Command arcade game for 30 hours at the Filling Station Eatery in Pensacola. Bowles racked up 40...
What?
Yeah. Bowles racked up 41,399,845 points with only 1/4 using marathon settings, besting the previous known record, according to Atari spokesman Mike Fornell. The record was broken when Victor Ali of the USA scored 80 million points in 1982. It is believed that Ali played the game continuously for 56 hours.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out, like, I want to look up where this place was, because I've never heard of this story before.
Yeah, it's called the Filling Station Eatery in Pensacola, but that was in 81, so I doubt that place is even still there.
No, I've never heard of it. I'll have to do some digging on that.
You need to do some digging
I'd be curious
on this Jody Bowles character and see if we can get him on the show.
Jody Bowles. Let me save that name.
Look him up on Facebook in the Pensacola area and see if they... I don't know if it's a man or woman. I mean, Jody could be a guy's name or a girl's name, and it doesn't specify a man or woman. So look up all the Jody Bowles on Facebook and just hit him up and message her. Hey, are you the one that played Missile Command for 30 hours?
Oh, man. That would be awesome. Yeah, I'll have to... I've saved his name, so I'll have to do some digging on that. But speaking of arcades, in July 9th, 1981, Nintendo releases Donkey Kong, which introduces the characters of Donkey Kong and Mario and sets the template for the platformer genre. It is also one of the first video games with an integral storyline. One of the most important video games ever made.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it introduced basically a genre to the gaming world, as well as two of its most iconic video game characters.
Jumpman. Yeah.
Yep.
Which then became Mario.
It's me, Mario.
And if you want to actually play the original arcade version of the game, they just released it for the Arcade Archive series for the Nintendo Switch for $7, which is worth every penny.
Absolutely. No, I haven't downloaded it yet, but I definitely intend to. But like I said, you know, one of the most important video games ever created, and I don't think anyone can dispute that.
Well, especially for Nintendo. In July of 1981, the Namco Warp and Warp Arcade System Board is released. Let me look this thing up here and see what this is. Its first hardware type, which was first used in 1978. The second and third games to run on it, Bomb B and Cutie Q, were modified to support a 256 color palette. List of Namco Warp and Warp arcade games: GB, Bomb B, Cutie Q, Navarone, Kate Takara Sagashi, SOS Tank Battalion, and Warp and Warp.
Never heard of it.
Me neither. I don't really know too much about the hardware side of things.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. In July of 1985, Namco releases Baraduke, aka Alien Sector.
I think I do remember this game. I remember the cover for this game because it just looks so cool. Looks like an Aliens movie or something.
I really like the name.
It runs on Namco Pac-Land hardware, but with the video system like that used in Metro Cross and Dragon Buster, modified to support vertical scrolling and a 2048 color palette. 10 years after its original arcade release, it was ported to the Sharp X68000 and was also included in a 5th volume of the Namco Museum series on PlayStation.
I mean, the screenshot looks kind of cool.
It does. It sort of looks like the... it kind of has a Blaster Master look to it. Like, cross between, like, Blaster Master and Mega Man.
It says here, this predates Metroid by 1 year.
That's what I was trying to think of. It has kind of a weird Metroid look to it.
Yeah.
I think Nintendo stole something. Also in July, this is a big year, 1985 in July. Sega releases Hang On by Yu Suzuki and AM2. It is the first of Sega's Superscalar games. It's a motorbike cabinet and controlled using the body, starting a Taikan trend of motion-controlled hydraulic cabinets in arcades, some 2 decades before motion controls became popular on video game consoles. I love playing Hang On in the arcades, and you can still find them here and there because it was such a cool cabinet.
We were talking about another game a couple of weeks ago, and I think it reminded you of Hang On.
Yes.
But I don't remember what the exact game was.
I don't remember.
But I mean, it looks really cool. You know, I've vaguely remember the name, but it was one that I never played. So it'd be fun to go back and visit.
It was right there on the tip of my brain, and now I can't remember what it was. I mean, I know we were talking about Outrun. I think that's what I was trying to remember. What was we were talking about Outrun, and I was trying to I was trying to think of Hang On at the time. I think that was it.
Yeah, that sounds right. But also in July of 1985, Sega releases the Sega Space Harrier arcade hardware, also known as Sega Hang On, the first of Sega's superscalar arcade system boards that allow pseudo 3D sprite scaling at high frame rates. And it displays 6144 colors on screen out of a 32,768 color palette.
I remember Space Harrier.
It's a lot of technical stuff.
Yeah, I remember Space Harrier being a pretty big deal when I was a kid. And I think they did a version of it on, was it the Master System or was it on the Genesis? And I know it was big in the arcade.
Let's see. It says here it was on the Master System.
Okay, yeah. I know they did a port of it. I couldn't remember where they ported it to. It's kind of weird they didn't put that on the Sega. That seems like such a Sega Genesis game.
Yeah, it does. That's actually really surprising.
Also in July 23rd of 1985, Commodore releases the Amiga personal computer. I still haven't seen that documentary I meant to watch about this computer. Stupid. I gotta watch it.
I want a computer like this just to say that I have it. Like, I think it would be a cool, like, little relic to put, like, in the corner of the room.
Dude, go hit up the flea market. I guarantee you'll find one.
And to wrap out this month in video game history, on July 26, 1985, Nintendo releases the Family Computer Robot, a peripheral for their Family Computer home video game console in Japan, also known as Rob.
The robotic operating buddy.
Also a decent character in Super Smash Brothers.
Really? See, that's what I'm interested to play Smash Brothers, because I've never... has he been in Smash Brothers before?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
He was introduced... I think it was Smash Brothers Brawl for the Wii was his first game, because they had this weird, like, generic level, because like a lot of levels are modeled after certain characters and franchises.
Yeah.
But the music I remember was an orchestrated version of the old Tetris theme, and it gives me goosebumps when I hear that song. Like, it is so good. I'll have to send it to you sometime. It's from Super Smash Brothers Brawl. It's so epic sounding.
Yeah, if you get
and so amazing.
If you can find it, send it to me, and I'll take a listen to it.
Yeah, it's really, really good. But you know, I never owned Rob, but
I didn't either.
I'd love to have in my little relic collection him next to our favorite peripheral, the Power Glove.
Yeah, I mean that was he was the thing that was the original selling point for the Nintendo, because it was billed as an entertainment, like basically as a toy and not a video game system. So Rob really helped to sell the Nintendo, but as soon as the people got their hands on the Nintendo and realized how good it was, they were just like, we don't need Rob anymore, and they just pretty pretty much just chucked him to the side. So poor Rob. At least he's being brought back in Smash Brothers form.
Yeah, a lot of people were excited about it, but I will say before we move on to our mid-roll, funny side note that the Power Glove made me think of it. We were at work the other day, and we were talking about, somebody brought up the question of, what's your favorite like obscure movie? And everybody, like, I knew mine right off the top of my head, and everybody was kind of going around, and I just thought to myself, yeah, I'm gonna have all you assholes beat. So I just like, watch this. So I pulled up the trailer for The Wizard, and they're like, that is awesome.
That movie's so great. Hey, you know what I was thinking the other day before we go into the mid-roll, and you just reminded me about that. Because we did I can't remember what episode it was, but we actually did a commentary track for The Wizard. I was thinking when we do the Patreon, we should do, if we get to a certain amount every month, like say $50 or $100, once we get to that amount, we do an extra episode every month, and we do either a commentary or just sort of a roundtable discussion about various, not only video game movies, but just retro movies in general. Like, there's actually a video game movie that I don't know if you've ever heard of this movie. It's called Brain Scan, that came out in the 90s. One of my favorite horror movies ever made, but nobody knows what this movie is. Like, it's not streaming anywhere. It's got Edward Furlong in it, who played John Connor in Terminator 2. And it's really weird. If you ever get a chance to watch it, it's great. I mean, it's got some really bad 90s CGI effects in it here and there. But other than that, the story is really great. And if you're a video game fan, it's kind of like, you know, it's a really cool movie to go back and watch. So I would love to do like a commentary track for that movie. So if we should really think about doing the Patreon. If we get to a certain amount, have like a goal where we get to every month, and we'll do stuff like that, where we'll talk about, you know, retro movies, and not only obscure ones, but, you know, well-known movies as well.
Throw Mortal Kombat in, and you got a deal.
Oh, I'm down.
I'll even do the first Mortal Kombat movie is good for what it is, but you have to look at it for what it is.
Oh,
the second movie is complete and utter garbage.
That movie's a dumpster fire.
Yeah, it is awful.
One of the few movies I've actually walked out of the theater.
I don't blame you. I probably would have done it too. I don't know how old I was when that movie came out, but I didn't see them until they came out on video. But love the original Mortal Kombat. I would. That's a great idea. I would love to do something like that.
So let's talk about that this weekend. Let's get that rolling, because I would love to do that. Just talk about movies and I love doing the commentary track. That was really fun to do.
Well, we do have the stuff I need to chat with you after the show, so we can throw that in there as well.
Well, let's go ahead and move into our mid-roll here. So, Derek, tell everybody about books, and then we'll roll into our review for tonight.
Sure. So for you, the listeners of the Nerd Cave Retro podcast, Audible is offering a free audiobook download with a free 30-day trial to give you the opportunity to check out their service. I mentioned this on last week's show, but I'll mention it again. Big thank you to listener of Nerd Cave Retro, Mr. Sean White, for reaching out to me. I'll read his message again here real quick. He just said, he enjoys the Nerd Cave Retro show that we do. He's actually been collecting games for 5 years now, so the content you guys put out is right up my alley. And I actually found out about Audible through NCR, and is why I'm messaging you. From one fellow gamer to another, I think you would enjoy this audiobook. And the book is Masters of Doom by David Kushner. It's based on the true story of the Lennon and McCartney of video games, John Carmack and John Romero. They lived a unique and rollicking American dream, escaping the broken homes of their youth to produce the most notoriously successful game franchises, Doom and Quake, which is they're both fairly known, especially in the PC gaming world. So I'm excited to listen to that. It's about 12 hours and 45 minutes, so quite a lot of content for free, and is narrated by the great Wil Wheaton of Star Trek The Next Generation fame. So, Wheaton. So they have a ton of other books too, other gaming series, World of Warcraft, Gears, Mass Effect, Halo, romance, fiction, nonfiction, biographies, sci-fi, any genre you can think of, Audible has. And if you're always on the go like I am, it's a great service to have to be able to continue to read without having to sit down and read a physical copy. So to do that, just go to audibletrial.com/nerdcave. Again, that's audibletrial.com/nerdcave for your free audiobook download and free 30-day trial.
And tonight we're talking about...
Such a good song. If that doesn't get you amped up for a impossibly hard video game, I don't know what will.
Ooh.
Yes. So this week, continuing our Battletoads trend, I will be talking about Battletoads and Double Dragon, which is a 1993 beat-em-up game developed by Rare and published by Tradewest. And I didn't actually know this, but it was originally released for the NES.
I didn't either.
And it was later ported to the Mega Drive/Genesis, Super NES, and Game Boy. The Ultimate Team is a crossover of both Technos Japan's Double Dragon and Rare's own Battletoad game franchise, although Technos had little or no credit involved in the production of the game outside of the Double Dragon license. It features the characters Billy and Jimmy Lee from the Double Dragon series, and the three humanoid toad protagonists from the Battletoads, which are Zitz, Pimple, and Rash, which are awesome character names. Mm-hmm. So, we talked last week about how notoriously hard the original Battletoads NES game was. So, yeah, I know we just talked about it, but refresh my memory. You've never made it past the third level, correct?
For the original, yes. Well, when I was a kid, I got past it, I think, once. Other than that, never. So the reason why, and I teased this last week, is that this might be my best review I've ever done. That's because I didn't make it past the first fucking boss. Yeah, same here.
Oh my God. I like the controls. It looks like a great game. You know, it's easy to get into. But there's a reason why your character's eyes like poke out of the front of his head and his mouth's like on the floor when the first boss comes out, and that's because I don't think you can beat it in single player.
You can't. And just for reference, the first boss is a Bobo from Double Dragon, and he's twice your size and constantly punches, so you can't get a punch in edgewise. You can ram him, like headbutt him. I can't figure out any other way to get past him. Like, I can't punch him, I can't kick him. All I could do was like headbutt him, and then he immediately just pummels the shit out of me for the next like 10 seconds until I'm dead.
Yeah, and that was the exact same way with me. Like, I was thinking, because when you texted me and you said that, you know, it was ridiculously hard, I was like, maybe after a while I'll be able to figure it out. But no, like, if you get hit by him once, you're done.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you get up, he's just right back on you.
Because that's the thing.
And I'm just like, I can't do anything.
Yeah, like you get hit once and like you get stunned, and then he just wails on you until you're dead. Like, you can't get up, you can't do anything. And it's ridiculous. So basically what I was doing is I was relaxing in my parents' pool, and you texted me at 9:30 at night, and you said, "Jesus H. Christ on a stick. I can't even defeat the first boss on Battletoads and Double Dragon." I said, "Wow, that's a great sign."
You said, it's a Bobo from Double Dragon. He's kicked my ass 5 times now. And then I told the story about the video game trading post and how they said it would test my patience. And you said, yes, my patience is done. So the next day I start playing it. And let's see. At 1:30 today, I texted you with this exact quote. God damn, this first Battletoads boss, ... That's all I had to say, because I feel like I can't give this game a fair review because I can't get past the first boss.
Well,
I truly think it has to be a 2-player thing.
Yeah, I don't know if the NES version is any easier, because I played this on Super Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if the Nintendo version is easier or if the Sega Genesis version is easier. I don't know. I couldn't even play the game. And last week I couldn't do a real review of the first Battletoads game for the Nintendo because I can't get past the 3rd level. Like, these games are so brutally, ridiculously, mind-numbingly hard. Like, they're not fun. They're so hard, they're not fun.
Yeah, and that's where I was at. It wasn't even I'm so frustrated, but I got to keep going to try and beat it. It was no, this is stupid.
Yeah.
I'm going to stop playing it.
Yeah, this is
And I tried
broken.
it. I tried it again when I got back to my house, but still after, 3 or 4 tries, I was like, I can't do it. I've got to have somebody else. And I watched some Let's Plays of it, and they were all 2-player, and they were able to, kick his ass easily.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it's scaled for a single player playthrough. I think it's made for 2 people, because I don't think there's any way to play this game with 1 person. I don't think it's possible. Because if you can't even get past the first boss, what's the rest of the game like?
I mean, you've got let's see. Next, you fight Big Blag in Blag Alley. But other than that, I got to, I think, stage 3 in the video I watched. But as far as playing it, I would love to see what's past the first boss, but damn. I mean, don't get me wrong. There are aspects about it that I like. Like, I love the Battletoads characters, even though I've recently been really introduced to them because, I mentioned it last week, but I think Battletoads came out in a time where you had Ninja Turtles, you had Sonic, you had the anthropomorphic animals, and they were all the rage back in the early 90s. So I think they came out at the perfect time, and I'm interested to see what they do with the revival of Battletoads. But damn, Nintendo, you didn't have to make these games so hard.
And it's not that we're old. That's not it at all. These games were hard when we were kids. Like, Battletoads was unreasonably hard when I was a kid. I couldn't get past the 3rd level then, when my reflexes were 5 times what they are now. And it's not that the game, and we talked about this on the last episode, it's not that it's not hard because of broken controls or anything like that. The game is hard because it's just way too hard. Like, it needed to be dialed back some.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Like, start off easy and then ramp up the difficulty as the game goes on. Don't start the game on the hardest difficulty you can program.
Yeah. Now, to tell a little bit about the story, because I actually do think it's a bit interesting. After being defeated by the Battletoads, the evil Dark Queen flies to the outer reaches of the universe, and the Toads and their mentor get on with their lives. However, one day the Earth's military is neutralized and a giant spaceship called Colossus emerges from the moon. Apparently, the Dark Queen is back with another plan to dominate the galaxy, and she has allied herself with the Shadow Warriors from the Double Dragon series to supplement her forces. Deciding to even the odds, the Battletoads get in contact with Billy and Jimmy Lee and ask them for their help. The brothers agree, and all 5 immediately take off for the Colossus in a mission to stop this 2-pronged threat. Now, I love the storyline, and the fact that the games are so similar, gameplay wise, I think is the perfect fit. But damn, this game's hard.
Yeah, I can't play games like this anymore. I don't have the patience for it. Maybe I had more of a patience for this kind of stuff when I was a kid, and it's just now that I'm older, because I've never played this particular game until a couple of days ago or yesterday, whenever it was that I had texted you. I never played this game before in my life, and I have no desire to keep playing it because I don't have that level of I'm going to keep playing this until my fingers fall off, Yeah.
No, I totally agree. And what's crazy is that it says here the game was very well received upon its release, receiving scores in ranges of 80 to 100%. And Nintendo Power staff rated it as the second best video game, or second best NES game of 1993.
Wow.
That's nuts.
Yeah, I mean, it says it won graphics and sound, theme and fun, play control, best villain, best overall game. The game was featured on the list of top 11 video game crossovers by Yu-Gi-Oh! Networks. And Games Radar, it was on the 15 most bizarre crossovers in gaming. It got critical praise, but man, maybe it's just us. I don't know.
Maybe so. I mean, I want to like this game because I like the characters, and I don't know. I had always heard stories about these games being, obnoxiously hard, and now I know for a fact all those stories were true. To quote Han Solo from The Force Awakens, it's true. All of it.
And here's the thing. I didn't even know that all these Battletoads games were, I had no clue there were this many Battletoads games. Where was that list of them? There was like 5 Battletoads games that came out. I had no idea that there were that many. I mean, I just remember the first one and then didn't even think about it until recently.
Yeah, we've got, let's see, Battletoads, Battletoads for the Game Boy, Battletoads and Battlemaniacs, which sounds like a knockoff of the cartoon Animaniacs.
Yeah.
Battletoads and Double Dragon, Battletoads Arcade, and now Battletoads 2019. It says here there was actually a canceled sequel/remake for the Game Boy Advance. It doesn't give a specific time frame, but still. And it says here the Battletoads appear in a bonus boss encounter in the Xbox One and PC version of Shovel Knight, which, if no one's ever played Shovel Knight, very fun game.
Yeah.
Battletoads and Battletoads Arcade are included in the Rare Replay, a compilation of 30 rare games released for the Xbox One in 2015. And then Rash appears in the Xbox One and Windows fighting game Killer Instinct as a playable guest character. Which is pretty cool.
I mean, they've been around for, it's not like they just had the one game and then not thought of. I mean, it was just kind of a lot of stuff. I think they were really trying hard to make this into a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle type of franchise, because like they did do a cartoon, which was a half-hour animated television special produced by Deke Entertainment. And I don't think it did very well. It says it was the pilot for a full-fledged series. Special aired in syndication in the United States on the weekend of Thanksgiving in 1992. It was never picked up for a series. However, comic-style ads in GamePro magazine claimed otherwise. A VHS tape with the pilot was released in the United States on January 15th, 1994. While no DVD edition has surfaced, the pilot got an official YouTube release on August 5th, 2014. A YouTube channel run by the Canadian company DHX Media, which owns Deke's cartoon library today.
It says here the animated special was included on the list of 5 worst one-shot cartoons ever made by Topless Robot in 2008 and 8 awful TV shows that were clearly doomed to fail by what culture in 2013?
Wow. That's
Jeez.
harsh.
Yeah. I kind of want to watch it now.
Yeah, I want to go on YouTube and watch this train wreck.
Yeah. But yeah, back to Battletoads and Double Dragon. I can't give it an honest grade or a ranking because I can't make it past the first level. And I tried. I really did try. And like I said, there are things I like about this game. The gameplay is very easy to pick up. It's got fun characters, but
Unplayable.
it's just a hard game. Yeah, it's not hard in the sense that you want to keep going. It's hard in the sense of you don't ever want to play it. So
Yeah.
I do not see myself playing this game very much, if at all, in the near future.
Well, maybe if you look up online and see if there are any cheat codes to use. I don't know.
Have to blow the dust off the game genie.
Yeah. Or just get another person to play the game with you and make it easier.
Yeah. Oh, that would be a fun Patreon Let's Play as we try to play Battletoads.
Yeah, we could do that. I'm down.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that's overall my thoughts on, Battletoads and Double Dragon. It's, I think it's a cool concept. I think it's a perfect marriage of two games. The gameplay is easy to pick up. The storyline, I think, is good. But as far as the difficulty, it's just obnoxiously hard, and I hate it.
But that's like I said last week, that I can't do any more anxiety-inducing games for a while. So I'm gonna take a step back, play something that's a little more easygoing. So we talked about it on the last episode. I think my next review is going to be Maniac Mansion. I was going to save it for October, but I need something a little laid back to play. Oh man, these Battletoads games really messed me up this week because they make you feel like you're terrible at video games.
They really do. And I'm going to do the same thing. My next review in 2 weeks, returning to the Game Boy with a very underrated game in the Legend of Zelda series, Link's Awakening.
Fantastico. So that's going to bring us to the end. Derek, anything you want to let everybody know about the Derek Diamond experience?
Yeah, so always be sure to check out the Derek Diamond Experience. New episodes drop every Thursday on iTunes, Spotify, all podcasting platforms. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at DDiamond Podcast. And this is probably going to really start picking up over the next couple of weeks. But if you want to check out any news regarding my upcoming short film, The Parker Syndrome, go to Facebook and just search for it, and you'll be able to find it. It's on Instagram as well, at The Parker Syndrome. I'm going to make a Twitter fairly soon, and then once we get a little bit closer to shooting and we figure out cast and crew and everything, I'll make a website for it. But looking to shoot that possibly in mid to late October. And so exciting stuff going on.
Awesome. For the Pop Culture Palette, just head over to pcpradio.com or at PCP Show on Twitter. We did a pretty good last episode that was probably one of the funniest episodes we've done for in a while, because I really started bitching about fanboys and things like that. I needed someone to blame for not getting an Obi-Wan movie with Ewan McGregor, and that upset me. So if you want to go hear me rant, which I was only about 10% serious, but I hope people know that about me.
But it's still a good rant regardless.
Yeah. But yeah, go check that out at PCP Show. But Derek, anything else before we leave here this evening?
I think that's going to do it for me.
Awesome. Let me go ahead and play this here. There we go. If you would like to email us, you can email us at nerdcaveretro@gmail.com. We're on Instagram and Twitter at nerdcaveretro. We're on individually at jfunktastic and at Derek_Diamond. You can find us at nerdcaveretro.com, and we're also on Facebook at facebook.com/nerdcaveretro. So Derek, please tell them what it's all about.
May the way of the hero lead to the Triforce.
Wow.
Wow.
You've been listening to a Nerd Cave Network production.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you, everybody, for watching us on Twitch tonight for the last 2 hours. There was a few of you that hung in there for the entire time, so thank you very much. I know it was very long to record 2 episodes in a row, but thank you for joining us, especially Travis for joining us. It's been a while since I've talked to you, but hope to talk to you again soon, man. Thank you for joining us. And Retro Game Brews, thank you guys for joining us. And thanks to Retro Gaming Dev for joining us on the last episode. Nate, he was an awesome guest and loved having him on. Joey Image for joining us. Thank all you guys for being there for us tonight. And we'll see you. I think the next time we're going to record live is possibly July 5th or the 6th. So keep an eye out on our Twitter at NerdCaveRetro or our individual Twitters at JFunktastic and at Derek_Diamond. We'll let you know when we're going to be recording live again.
Yeah.
So thank you, everybody, and we'll see you next time.